legends in the making, they fight. Kyle and Jacob will lead you tonight. So lay down your arms, there's no chance of victory. You punk ass bitches, they're better than the rest of me. Yeah, yeah.
Well, hello, and welcome
Hi.
to episode 4.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Jacob.
Oh, wait, you have to introduce yourself first.
No, I don't.
It's episode 4.
It's episode 4.
They know where this is going
And
at
we
this point.
still haven't figured out how to make our intro
We
smooth.
still haven't figured that out. But
We'll get
God,
it.
that intro song is so good. Stephen Dillard.
God, it's every time we listen to it.
Toss
we
out
both
the
are, like,
Twitter.
singing.
Toss out the Twitter deets again.
Find him
Just-
on Twitter at the Son of Kong, like
Oh.
King Kong.
So good.
No,
Thank you.
it really was.
Again, Stephen, that intro, man. That's great.
It's so disappointing though, the rest of the podcast, because people hear that and they're like,
They
"Holy
get
shit, this is
hyped.
gonna be
They
good."
get really hyped, and then the
30
first
minutes
words out of
of
your mouth are,
torture.
"Hi, I'm Kyle." And they're
Welcome
like,
to the
"Ah,
podcast.
I'm
No,
out.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
out."
But
No. So this is not NPR.
no, this is better than the Restiny.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let's try that again. This
Okay.
is
Better than
The
Restiny. We are glad you're listening. And again, I am Kyle.
Hi, and I'm Jacob.
Big episode again. I
Every
feel like
episode, every episode's a big episode.
it's our new trend.
You're selling the other episode short, although this episode is pretty big.
It's big.
We got a special guest. We got another PJ life hack. I mean,
We're going to discuss how to get involved because apparently people don't understand that yet.
yeah. I mean,
There's a lot that we're going
listen,
to cover.
There's
It's
like,
big.
I've checked the numbers. There's like 25 of you out there listening to us. There's at least 15 here in the studio audience.
At
so
least.
we need you guys to get out there, tell your friends what's going on. If you like us, great. If you hate us, just send a text to 972.
No, stop trying to give out my phone number.
One of these days, Kyle,
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
get-
get
you're
that.
gonna get all the way through
I'm gonna
it.
get that number out, and Paul is not our producer. Paul, who you all got,
You know
PJ.
Paul, PJ.
Everyone knows PJ. He's gonna let it happen one of these days. But so big thing this episode is we have a special guest, much like
Right.
we have every episode, but
We try.
they're still special in their own ways.
Each one of them.
And this week we have another member of Better Than the Restiny.
Indeed.
And his name is Jesse. Jesse, say hello to all the listeners, all the fabulous.
Hello, listeners. I would like to note I am more specialer than the other specials.
I don't think that
More
is
specialer than the specialer.
I
That's a
think
thing.
that's a qualifier.
No.
But anyway, so Jesse, much like the rest of the guests on the show, we're gonna have to delve deep into your personal life. Tell us your intimate details. No, just give us a quick gamer bio so we
Right.
can get a feel on what type of gamer you are, what you like, and get you ready to
Yeah, I believe
spit out
Jacob-
some hot fire about Destiny.
I believe Jacob describes this as you justifying to the listeners why they should trust what you say over what I say.
Listen, everybody we've had on the show up until this point, their opinion is infinitely more valid than Kyle's.
Absolutely.
So we have to have a counterpart to me, because my opinion obviously is gold.
Valid.
Selling those ad spots that we're getting. We're gonna hit you with some Charmin ads
You're
later.
going to love that.
They are Charmin of all companies. But anyway, so Jesse,
Ultrasoft is great.
very
Ultrasoft.
very much. So Jesse, give us a little bit of a background bio on your gaming history. Go for it.
Okay, so real quick, started off at age 3 with Sega Master System. From there on out,
Excellent.
had every console there is to name. At about 16, I hit Halo 2, where I turned into the type of gamer that plays one game and just plays the hell out of it till he
Right.
rapes everyone at it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So
had to bring
played
rape
the
into
hell
the
out of
mix.
Halo 2, got heavy into World of Warcraft. Obviously, I was the best at it.
God.
Led some really successful pug raid groups, was in a heroic raiding guild, really successful there. Transitioned into Call of Duty, some Halo 3, Halo 4, really good at all that, and now I play Destiny.
Excellent.
Nice. All right.
Quite the
So-
story.
Yes. So Jesse's here with us today, and the topic of discussion is drum roll without hitting the equipment. Go for it, Kyle.
It's PvP.
Ooh, I do love some PvP.
It is PvP. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss, I guess, the Iron Banner, the focal.
We'll get to the Iron
non-thong
Banner.
on PvP, but we're going to discuss
We're
that.
going to start with the Crucible. So Jesse, I see you rocking the Crucible every time I'm on. Just about. What are your thoughts thus far? map layout, gunplay, balance, class skills, all that stuff. Just kind of give us a brief overview of what you think the Crucible is right now and how you view that.
Well, the map layout is pretty good. Most of the maps encourage very close quarters play, very shotgun, very fusion rifle oriented gameplay. A little bit of sniper play in there, but very limited. Specific maps, specific lanes, specific sites you can look down. Not a lot of map movement there. As far as gun balance goes, for the most part, if you're not using certain guns, you are hurting yourself. The Shingen E, the Suros, the very high stability, high can land every shot as a headshot guns seem to be dominating the play.
Right.
I love my Suros.
Unlike in Halo, where before you break through the shield, headshots, a shot anywhere is the same amount of damage. Headshots don't matter. Unlike Halo in that regard, headshots count whether your shield is up or not. So stability is a big player. You need to be getting headshots. You need that precision multiplayer. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, so I know Kyle obviously is a big fan of the jumping in the PvP, as he said before.
I'm a huge fan of jumping.
The double jump.
I mean, again, when it comes to the Destiny PvP and the Crucible, it's kind of everything you would expect. I mean, there's nothing really crazy or out there. But as far as like an initial offering goes with the maps, do you have a favorite map by any chance off the top of your head?
It would be, I believe it's Shores of Light. Is that the name of it?
The one on Venus?
Yes.
Yes.
The close quarters. That little tunnel that's kind of between, I believe it's B and
C?
A, or B and C.
Yeah.
Whichever one's in the cave. That's really good for some shotgun play. I like to camp in there, go a little stealth with my Blade Dancer, play that. It also has some really good long sniping sights that you can look down.
Yeah.
So it encourages, all using every sort of special weapon. You can use any weapon there and do well.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and segue really quickly, because we do, between us three, we kind of represent each of the classes in Destiny. Kyle's, obviously, he plays a Titan. Jesse, you're a Hunter. I'm a Warlock. Give us your kind of, what do you think so far about the class balance? I know you play Hunter, so a lot of people would say that Hunters are a little bit more geared. Both of their specs have a lot of viability.
A little more PvP-ish.
As far as Crucible goes. Yeah, I mean, Hunters, as far as the most pure class-oriented to shoot and kill stuff,
right.
That goes without saying that Hunters kind of excel in that regard.
I don't know. I don't feel like Hunters are as good as people are making them out to be. Yes, their supers have the potential to net more kills. I mean, I've had Blade Dancers where I get 6 kills. Certainly a lot of gunslingers where I get a kill with every shot, which nets 3.
Yeah.
But they all have their place. For instance, the Titan, I don't know it, the Ground Pound, whatever the name of it is, Fist of Havoc, maybe.
Yes, Fist of Havoc.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Anyways,
Yeah, Kyle's very familiar with the names of the abilities for the class thief mains.
Yeah, that one.
Obviously. Sorry, go ahead.
You might not get 3 kills with it, or 6, which is rare. That doesn't happen all the time. But it certainly has its uses, especially in control. Like, you want to get a point, you run in there, you pound the ground, you got it. You're pretty much invincible while it's going off. The Hunter ones they have a more risk reward, I would say. The Gunslinger, you have to shoot them. You can miss and die. The Titan one, not so much. The Titan one, you just run in. If you miss a Titan special or super,
you might be special.
Yeah.
You might be Kyle.
See what we did there.
Or the same with a Boardwalker super. It's hard to miss that. The splash damage on that is giant.
Yeah.
Where you might not get 3 kills with it, unless, they're all in the middle humping each other. But it's easier. It's less risk. You just shoot it off. You're not going to die while you're shooting it off. And you get your kills.
Right.
So I think it's pretty balanced. Certainly not as pronounced as you like to make it out to be. And you can talk now.
Oh.
And now it is your turn, please.
Jesse, the first-time podcaster. No, okay. So, I agree. There's a pretty good balance, and each of the specs has a viability in some role. I mean, I would think the least viable spec would probably be the Defender Titan, just because of the special. But still, the bubble is actually fantastic.
I've seen it used.
Oh no,
it's really well.
It's still
but
it's still a fantastic tool, but it's not necessarily like an oh shit button like everyone else is. Like,
it's not a kill feature.
Correct. It's definitely a more team oriented play style, and I think that's good too. That they have class roles that can sort of fill anyone's
But I am
desires.
selfish. I am selfish.
But then, to be fair, it's not necessarily a selfish game style. It's just you like jumping up and killing stuff. I mean, we all know you like to jump in PvP.
I'm a huge fan of the jump. No, but the biggest problem is teamwork. Unless you're going in with a group of people that you're all in the same party where you are talking, teamwork doesn't seem to happen for me.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
So my bubble, I'm not using it for some random ass that's not going to back me up a minute later.
Right. Well, that's I've seen a few of the complaints about the Crucible, and this kind of falls into the whole chat system. Is you really don't have an effective way to communicate with your teammates unless it's something that you have in a fire team. So it really makes the play with match made players. It makes it kind of a little haphazard. Like, in other games at least you have game chat.
Right.
Obviously there are a lot of negatives and drawbacks to that sort of system, but if you have mature enough players and you have an opportunity to sort of communicate, it can make the game a lot more fun and a lot more productive.
Yeah, and when you get the asshole that's blaring like the Beyonce CD in the background, you can mute them.
Yeah, you have an opt-in feature for that too. But Bungie has sort of addressed that they want to kind of implement these opt-in chat systems, but it really does hinder, I think, to some degree, like the PvP. It feels like more often than not, even in control game types where you're supposed to have team communication, team cooperation. A lot of times it's just, unless you're in there with a group of friends, you're just kind of running around solo killing things and
trying to control.
Yeah.
With 5 other people that are all over the place.
I will say, without the voice chat on, I can't think of particular map names, but a lot of the control games, there is like a set strat that just everybody does.
Right.
Like, you can't communicate, so everybody just knows there's this one thing we should do, so we do that. Most of the time, it's centered around the B control point.
Right. Which is
everybody
usually
just charges that, shoots their shotgun.
Which is usually how the match setups are typically in these type of like domination-esque game types.
That middle option is the one that you always fight over.
Right. I do like. I think the game type that is different in the Crucible that I've actually really enjoyed, that we've played a little bit, Jesse, is the 3 versus 3 game type where you have like the revives, and it encourages skirmish. Thank you.
Yes,
I do like that game type a lot more than, say, some of the other bigger matches.
Absolutely, I love that. I love the fact that it is easier to know where your enemy is, and as long as the other 2 people that are on your team understand that it works better if you stay together, it is a much more focused, intentional PvP.
Right. No, and sometimes, again, with the maps the way they are in Destiny, they are smaller maps, and that encourages a lot less camping. It encourages a lot more of an active play style. Although a lot of times having 12 people on those maps can be pretty chaotic. Like, sometimes I just want to take a break and get an auto rifle or get it, like more of a medium to long range fight going, and a lot of times that's not afforded to you on the
slower paced.
Right. So having a skirmish game type where 6 players, I think, feels really right on some of these maps. So
I do like skirmish. The team with the most kills doesn't necessarily win.
Right.
A revive is worth half a kill. So teamwork really comes into play. I really like it. For the most part, the random pugs you get match made with are, they know what's going on. They're more team oriented. They're not running off on their own. I mean, you will get some that do that.
I mean, sometimes it's hit and miss.
That's the thing, though. It feels so much more detrimental in the skirmish when the other 2 are all over the place, though. If the other 2 have just decided they're not playing the game type, you're not going to win. You're going to get stumped.
Right.
Because there's always
the
the
game
other
type's
3.
built around, with the revive system, it's built entirely around coordinated team play, which is good that it allows, 3-man groups, because a lot of people, especially in the game, it seems like they have one friend or they have 2 friends, not necessarily that they have like a group of 6 that's ready to go PvP all the time. So having a smaller game type that allows you only to play with that sort of group really sort of incentivizes that group play. So
Well, not all of them are members of Better Than the Rest of Me.
Not
the
all of them
Clan,
are members
so-
yet, but if you want to send a
Ooh.
text to
No,
97...
okay, so
Okay.
moving on.
Moving on. So, Jesse, what complaints do you have, if any, about the PvP or the Crucible, or maybe
He
sort
said he
of
liked it.
the weapon balance or things like that? Just things that you would hope that maybe they would patch or fix or work around.
I really think there's too much special ammo. Like, there's just too... I get there's no other weapons for you to play with.
Right.
Like, in other games, you can run around. There'll be 4 or 5 weapons around the map that you can pick up and play with. In this game, you don't have that. All you have is your primary and your special, and then the occasional heavy.
Right.
So they give you a lot of special ammo,
Yeah.
so that you get to use more than just your primary. But then it ends up just being a battle of the specials. You see people running around using almost nothing but a fusion rifle, or
I
nothing
hate
but a
those.
shotgun.
Yeah.
And there's just
hate
too
those
much
too.
of it. Every time you come around a corner, there's always a shotgun there.
Right.
Every time.
There's no battle for map position to control the spawn of special ammo, because
Well-
it's just so prevalent.
Yeah, and a lot of that too, like I'll chalk a lot of that up to map design too, because it's like it almost feels like they've encouraged that type of gameplay by the way that they've built these maps. There really isn't, as far as like the range of engagement, there
Right.
really isn't. That you either have like really far ranges of engagement, like on parts of the moon level, or the 2 vehicle maps. Like a lot of times you'll get really large, like long lines of engagement, or you'll get like really up close. So there's not a whole lot of like mid-rangey game style that I think would be really good for like assault rifle play.
Yeah, and I love my assault rifle or my full auto, and it loses because someone can quickly whip around one shot, blow me in the face with a shotgun, and I'm down.
Right.
And they weren't aiming; they literally just heard something and they just pulled around clicking. I hate
It
that.
really limits your style of gameplay
Yeah.
based on the special weapon that you choose. Like, I primarily run a shotgun, and tight quarters, around corners, I feel safe. I'm gonna win that. I have my shotgun. But then on longer maps, I'll switch to my sniper rifle. But the longer maps, of course, have those tight corners
Mhm.
and little areas, and I'm afraid to go around them because I know I can't win it.
Right.
I have a sniper rifle.
You're gonna lose that.
Yeah, if they have a shotgun there, I'm going to lose. And it's not from bad play or bad decision making. It's just I can't win with my choice of special. So it really limits the way that I can play certain maps should I choose, specific special weapons.
So one thing I think that's also unique to the Crucible, the way that Destiny designed it, is their map, or not map, excuse me, their radar, the radar system. Because normally in a
it's
lot of
so
games,
confusing.
well, normally in a lot of games, the radar system works is you have an identifier whenever you fire, or you do some sort of action that creates damage or has a possibility of that. But Destiny's is different. It's a movement-based radar, but it's not like a precise positioning. It's more of a directional, vertical, sort of identifier as to where you are. What are your kind of thoughts on where they went with this radar development for the Crucible?
Guessing that's directed at me.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's I love it. It promotes the type of gameplay I like, and it gets rid of the type of gameplay I don't like.
Which is what?
For instance, you mentioned when you fire, you show up on the radar, COD-like type radar. That promotes hiding behind a box. I can sit behind a box all day. Nobody knows I'm there until I shoot. And if I have a silencer, they still don't know I'm there.
Right.
And, that's always been a complaint about COD-type games, hiding behind a box, stupid crap like that. So it gets rid of that. But it also gets rid of radar whoring, as in the Halo style of radar, where you saw exactly, you had that one point for every person. If there were 3 people there, you saw 3 dots, you knew exactly where they were. It gets rid of that. You just see that little wedge of the radar. You don't know how many people are there. You don't know exactly what corner they're around.
Right.
You just know they're there somewhere. So it gets
They've
rid
got
of the
direction.
super campy gameplay, but it still allows you some, I generally know where my enemy is.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like the whole point of radars in PvP is you have like a limited, you have a very limited perspective when you're in a character. You don't have any sort of way to determine things going on and what would be your peripheral vision. So, like, I do like to some degree the fact that it's more of a like an omnidirectional tell as opposed to a hey, there's a person right there, or there's a person in this spot. It's more of a hey, you sense something, or you would hear something, or there would be some indication given to you that there would be fighting or there would be an opponent somewhere in this vicinity. I do like that.
I do too.
It can be confusing though sometimes when you
Yeah.
have multi-level maps as to where, a lot of times you're like, oh, go around this corner and they're not there. Oh, they're behind me or they're below me or something like that.
Yeah, the confusion part though, I'm willing to deal with that.
It's an
because,
adaptation
yeah,
thing though. It's
you get
it's-
better at it, and
yeah,
you start to understand it a little bit more. It's not a radar that is like any radar that I've used in any other game.
Right.
So I've done a lot of PvP since the Iron Banner has been out, which is actually, I'd like to talk about that some because I'm really enjoying it, and I think I'm the only one. So, but I've been playing it nonstop, and so now I'm starting to understand, the intensity of the glow for the different direction. I can start to guess how close they are, and I kind of know some of the maps now, so I can guess what ledge they're hiding around or what corner they're around
Right.
because of that. But it just takes time. It takes
The
more time.
confusion you talk about, I would say, is a positive.
Exactly.
It allows for sneaky gameplay. Like, I can do sneaky maneuvers. I can outsmart people. Whereas in the Halo variant of the map, I couldn't outsmart them. They knew exactly
Right.
where that dot was, and that was it, period.
Yeah.
I couldn't sneak around and be sneaky, but this one is so vague.
Right.
It lets you know where action is, so you can still, be oriented, but it still allows for
Right.
that sneaky ninja-like gameplay.
Yeah, no. So, as Kyle was trying to transition to
Trying really hard.
Iron
He did,
Banner.
But then he went back to the radar.
He did.
He
So
went
not
back to the
Banner, but radar we were talking about.
Iron Banner. And Kyle likes it.
I do.
And Iron Banner is on my shit list right now.
Mhm.
And I'll get to that in a moment. But
I
Jesse,
agree.
okay, so you agree. Iron Banner. To me, Iron Banner. All right, we did this last week. We're gonna do it this week again. We're gonna go around the round table, 2 words to describe the Iron Banner. So we're gonna start with Kyle. 2 words.
Shit. You only get 2.
You get 2 words.
Can't do it.
All right,
Do it.
3 words. 3 words.
Please.
3 words. Kyle, you go first. Putting you on the spot.
God.
Radio magic, buddy.
You can do
Another
it.
enjoyable PvP.
We'll-
God, I wasn't ready for
We'll
3.
take it. All right, Jesse. Jesse, 3 words that
I
you
would
would have.
say indistinguishable from Control.
Okay, I would say an abject failure.
Yeah, I butchered it.
That's what he said last week about.
I added an.
Oh, you had to add a 3rd word.
Yeah, no, I mean, like Jesse said,
Yeah.
it seems like it's a complete waste of time, to be honest. Iron Banner.
So
In fact, it seems
I-
even more like disingenuous than just Control type Crucible.
Yeah.
The whole Iron Banner. Let's start off by saying this. So, where I got the game and I'm leveling up, and the most excited thing, or the thing I was most excited for after I reached my max level, was Vault of Glass. Vault of Glass was awesome.
It was a blast.
Was not disappointed with Vault of Glass.
Vault
now
of
trying
Blast.
to do hard modes on it. It's good. It's a
hard.
progression type content that'll keep me interested. The next thing that I was super looking forward to was Iron Banner, because they pitched it as this Gear Matters. It's a hardcore type Crucible game style,
Right.
where it rewards you or punishes you for the amount of time or the amount of, I know they say time, but a lot of times it's RNG, but the amount of time that you put in trying to maximize your gear, you'll see that you would reap the benefits for that in Iron Banner. And what we got was, like you said, almost indistinguishable from the Crucible, because there are, even though they said, gear matters and we don't have an equalizing factor to it, whatever you have is what you have. Oh, but also, by the way, we did kind of normalize the numbers and we did kind of normalize the damage too, because we wanted to make it fair. And it's like, well,
Then
why
it's
the hell
different?
Why the hell even make it if it's going to be fair? I thought I was going to be able to go in there and pretty much like, sorry, bud, you're not up here yet. Boom,
And
go
you
get some more
light up
gear.
a 22.
Sorry, hey, there's a 29. We're gonna party. We're gonna hit each other hard, and this is gonna be the top end of the PvP for the time being. And
so
it's
you
not
do when
that.
you party, you hit each other
Beat
hard.
the
Hit
shit
each
out
other
of one
hard.
another.
Let's do this, buddy. Yeah, no, I mean, and the thing too is the whole setup behind it. Not even so much that the gear, that the leveling, they ended up backtracking on that, and it's normalized anyway, which is stupid. Is the fact that the only way you can advance yourself in the Iron Banner is by completing bounties or winning matches, which completely de-incentivizes staying and losing matches. And so you see that if you play enough matches, if you're on the losing team, you'll toggle in, you'll see 3-4 people have left your team, and it's a
Yeah.
pointless affair. You've just wasted your time, and the people that leave have no punishment for it. There's no
Yeah.
leave or punishment system, and the only reward you get is from when you're winning. So literally, there's no incentive to play it unless you are well enough ahead to ensure that you're going to be getting a victory.
Or the
Because if you lose,
Ingrams.
no, because if you lose, the Ingrams that are completely RNG, because if you lose, it's almost an entire waste of your time.
I'm always winning, so I haven't noticed.
Well,
Bullshit.
for the less fortunate of us,
like me.
Aside from when I'm playing with Kyle,
Damn it.
I'm always winning.
so indistinguishable from Control. Go into your thoughts a little bit more. I mean, I'm kind of up on the soapbox here.
Jacob's pissed.
Like I'll take the soap. Well, no, this is an abject failure.
He's got.
What is
eight-
I
this?
don't think it can be viewed in any way other than a failure. Like I understand that they want it to be, or now they've sort of backtracked and they've talked about how they want it to be an enjoyable experience for everyone. Fuck that. That's what Crucible. No, seriously.
Right.
That's what
is.
Crucible is for. You know, they don't tune the hard mode of Vault of Glass so that everyone can go in there and have fun. No, it's for the
No, it's the
people that have
hard
put
mode.
in the time, and it's for the top end of the PvE people, and they don't have a counterpart for that in PvP because they're too scared of alienating whatever casual group of people that would like, you know, oh well, we want to go into Iron Banner and we want to get the rewards. The rewards, by the way, that they jury rigged that now don't disenchant into shards, so pretty much the rewards are useless outside of an emblem and a shader and a class item that you can't do anything with. So they've created this whole supposed elite level of PvP that's just watered down bullshit Control PvP that you don't even get rewarded for doing it unless you win.
Aside from the quitting,
Yeah.
I don't mind the getting reward for winning. If there was a penalty system for quitting out, like a harsh one, you know,
Right.
that actually made people stop quitting out, I would say that's fine. Like I don't like the whole getting rewarded for losing.
Well, again, and that's part of the issue though, is you don't even like you join a game, and if your team is behind and people start losing, your opportunity to win just completely went to zero.
Because everyone.
Like if you're down 4-6 or 5-6, like it's already difficult as is, regardless of how good your team is. You know, you're already kind of behind the 8 ball, and there's no penalty for that, and really there's no reason for you to stick around in a losing effort. So like I don't necessarily blame the people for leaving. It's the system is set up so that, you know, that's the way that you got to play the game. You know, if you want to get this, if you want to try to get in as many Iron Banner matches as possible and try to get that rep.
Well, if you remember old school matchmaking, they didn't have the join in on an already started game. You know, if people left, then it was a 4v2 for the remainder of the match till they left, and there was a free win.
Right.
So the joining in on a match already started, you're down 1,500 to 2,000. Wait, no, 15,000 to 2,000.
Yeah.
That's probably a kind of separate issue from the whole structure of the Iron Banner.
Right.
But as far as the Iron Banner, you know, being different from Control, I don't. Paul and I, we started new characters. I was level 3 with the the Kostov, the starter assault rifle, and we went into the Iron Banner, and it was certainly slightly noticeable. Like, you know, if I nailed every shot and they did as well, I lost, and that, you know, that's what's expected. But I was outgunning people as a level 3 versus a level 29.
Which is ridiculous in a game
Right.
mode. In a game mode that they advertise as gear mattering, it's ridiculous that gear doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, gear matters, but it matters in very fractional points. Which, again, in a competitive PvP environment, any small inkling of advantage is still an advantage.
We'll take it.
But at the same time, if you're going to sell me on this idea, on this game type, that I'm putting all this effort into getting my character to a point where I think I can effectively compete in it, and somebody who just made a character can compete, you know, not maybe entirely as equally, but close to as equally, it's ridiculous.
To be fair, I'm better than most of those
Oh my
people.
God.
So it wasn't their fault.
Better
Would you
than the
say
rest
you're?
of me.
Would you say you're better than the rest of
of
me?
me.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would
there we go.
I would say that.
Synced it up. That's good. That's
A
good.
fair assessment.
All 3 of us. No, but okay.
Nice, Kyle.
So now you guys, y'all hate the Iron Banner. Let me tell you why I like it. I think. Now, granted, I get that there's no distinguishable difference. That's a bummer. We were told it would be different. You do get different gear. That's all I've got.
You do get different
and
gear,
there,
but
I
it's,
know there's no point to it, but for me, the goal of another, I guess, reputation to improve, I like that.
but there are no
Just
rewards.
Not
like
really.
the idea of something different to
Yeah.
do. Is that what you're
It's
saying?
because it's literally just a slightly different motivator to do it because it's still for the same tokens.
But it's not anything different to do. It's
Slightly.
control.
It's the same
It's
thing
control.
to do.
It's
with a
control
different-
repackaged.
for a different purpose, though.
Yeah.
That's I'm in no way saying I think it was a huge success. I'm saying what I like about it was the fact that they kind of like you're working for a different faction that does have different gear. There's very little I can say to defend it. I went into this podcast thinking I was very much so going to defend it.
Right.
Y'all have convinced me.
Well, because I mean, like, I can understand that it's okay. Like, the one positive is, it's new gear or new loot added to the table. Well, the loot is still rewarded on an RNG basis from the actual thing, unless you grind the rep and get it from the vendor.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, which is fine.
yeah.
But the problem is in a game type where it's so difficult to get the rep outside of just winning matches, you would think that the gear would offer a level slightly higher than maybe you could buy from normal vendors, and it's not. It's the same gear.
Yeah, it should definitely be a higher
It has
level.
a different name, and it might have different combinations of the randomized perks that they have, but it's the same gear. It's the exact same stuff. Unlike when you do hard mode vault or you do vault, you have a chance to get higher light level gear. You have gear that
Right.
looks different than everything else, or is special gear. The PvS or the PvP aspect has none of that, and that's frustrating.
That brings in the age-old argument of the PvP versus PvE crossover.
Right.
I mean, if they did offer hard mode vault level gear from the Iron Banner, all the PvEers would be
You'd
so
have to.
upset. Like, this guy got the same gear that I have just from PvPing. Like, what the hell?
But that's the thing is, I understand that you can't have a game that makes everyone happy. But the problem is like then you're sort of deciding, okay, what's more important, and you're kind of deciding how if you want to have the highest gear that you can acquire in this game, you have to play this one avenue of this game mode of this supposedly robust and diverse game that we're offering, that you can play how you want to play, that you can customize how you want to custom, that you can become legend, but you only have this one avenue of obtaining the type of gear that you want to get.
I feel like that was Bungie's intent. Like if you look at the PvE content versus the PvP, it's pretty clear this is a PvE game.
Right.
But hey, we have PvP too.
But there's so many
fun.
hurdles that there are so many hurdles that they've imposed on people to try to jump over to get involved in even moderate level. I mean, there are still people who haven't a month out who haven't been able to get into normal vault because they can't, they don't have friends or they haven't had success on these third-party websites to try to find fire teams. They've had to have these big workarounds to get people to be able to, not even that the content is too hard, it's that the availability is the barrier. I always forget this because we have a pre-made group. We have guys, we have more than enough
we have people sitting.
Yeah, and so that's not ever an issue for us. But God, if I was playing this by myself, I would be kind of frustrated from the PvE aspect that the PvP would offer me sort of a reprieve from that in terms of gearing up my character.
And the thing is, so with a game like Call of Duty, why do you PvP? Why do you play it?
Because, to some degree, I enjoy playing against other people in a competitive fashion, regardless of whether it's chess, checkers, basketball, football, swimming, masturbation contests. I don't care. Whatever it is,
very common.
whatever it is, and
friends.
yes, an opportunity.
I always win those.
An opportunity in a competitive environment, in an activity that you find fun against other individuals that are equally or lesser, or even more skilled, offers a challenge, and it's fun. And so you have to incentivize the play. The problem with that, though, is if you just slap people down and there's no incentive to level or do any of the things, it's really hard because it can get old.
So how does the Crucible not offer that?
Well,
compared
it
to
offers the
Call of
chance
Duty.
to
well, the problem is
compete with people.
It does, but there's no sort of separate incentivized system of doing the Crucible other than getting Crucible rep. There's no real deep aspect to bring you back to that game other than you're just like, I guess I'll play the Crucible because I want to play PvP right now.
COD didn't have any incentive either.
Yeah, there was no real incentive in COD
place to
either.
PvP.
You would maybe up you would level your character.
Yeah, I mean, like they
And
had
the
like that
prestige.
they had a whole entire leveling system separate from their PvE experience. Like they had to some degree, a leveling experience that you could
would
sort of
unlock
show off. Look,
weapons and stuff like
I'm
that.
prestige 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I put in the time. There's no real sort of payoff to PvP outside of Crucible rep and another chance at RNG in Destiny. Which don't get me wrong, I love the Crucible. I'll play the hell out of the Crucible.
I'm doing
It's
that
just,
this afternoon.
if the Iron Banner is their attempt to bring like next level or like a harder PvP environment, they failed. It's the same.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's the intent. From what we got, I would not say that's the. If it is, you're right. They failed horribly.
It's not their intent, but when they advertise it as such,
wasn't how it was.
When they
sold to
advertise
us.
it as such, and then they come back and say, "Well, no, it's it's just another faction, and we wanted everyone to be able to participate." Then it's backtracking, and that frustrates me.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about now?
Jacob and I both just sit in silence to see
So
how
let's-
long it'll take Jesse to go.
All right, so
Wait,
let's
we're still
let's
recording?
move on. So okay, so obviously
Yeah.
again, everything about this game, every aspect about it is still sort of a work in progress, and it's not. It's sort of the way Destiny is now is certainly not the way Destiny is going to be in 3 months, 6 months,
No.
a year. So what would you like to see about the Crucible? Maybe something that you would like them to add, or something that you would think that would be awesome, or something creative that you think they can go with the Crucible or with Crucible events going forward.
I want to see more variance in gameplay, and not to keep going back to Halo, but you remember the Blood Gulch with the Warthogs and the vehicle play and the teamwork and the capture the flag. Like, I want to see more than just control and deathmatch on a few little maps.
Right.
Like some more vehicle play would be cool. Not that it's just fun. I mean, it's not super skill. Haha, I killed you with the tank. It's just fun.
Right.
Hold on now. It was not too long ago. The Crucible had a different type of gameplay available. It was 3v3 skirmish.
Rumble.
Was it
Or
Rumble?
no, excuse me, Salvage.
Salvage, where you had to hold down a spot and it would move multiple places. So if they are periodically dropping new game modes like that would technically meet Jesse's requirement.
It's okay. I mean, one every weekend. I mean, that's cool. Like, but what am I going to do the rest of the week? I'm going to play Control. I'm going to play Team Deathmatch.
Yeah.
Skirmish is fun. But I mean, if you look back at other games, look at the myriad of playlists you have to choose from.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much diversity, and I don't know. I almost feel like I'm back in the beta where I have just one. Well, in the beta, obviously, you only had one thing to play, but now I have two things to play, and I just feel so limited.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing for me that I'd like to see, I feel like every multiplayer shooter has some sort of custom match mode. And I know it's difficult, or maybe not difficult, but since Destiny's PvP is built so much into their leveling and PvE experience that, it is a viable substitute in some forms or fashions, it would be something as simple as just turning off the ability to gain, like, you don't gain experience from custom matches, but some sort of, like, custom match generator where I can, like, say, okay, these are the only types of weapons you can use, or these are, this is the map type, or here we can have extra vehicles or something, just something to do with friends or something to do like custom matches that you can sort of shape it in the way that you want. Because I feel like that is an option in most
or clan
PvP
wars.
shooters.
Wasn't it the last Call of Duty that had a clan war aspect where you would take over?
Those sucked.
They
to be fair.
they sucked when you were playing them solo, Jesse. But like if you had a fairly active group of guys that were playing and actually doing it, it wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, the clan wars were just more who played more.
Yeah.
If your clan played more, if your clan played 24/7 for 3 days, you won, regardless of if you're good or not.
But I mean, is that still not just something?
Well, the way it stands right now, I mean, the clan system in game, since you don't even have like sort of an in-game management of the clan system, I feel like that's just
What is
impossible
it?
until they do any sort of adjustments with that. I don't know.
That's true.
I just want to see the availability of sort of a custom match lobby that you can make up, and like Jesse said, just more like they're not limited. Thankfully about Destiny, it's not based firmly in sort of not like a Modern Warfare title or a Battlefield title that's based heavily in reality. You can kind of get out there with the ideas of objectives and and things, or maybe have, you know, like a 6-man group where one guy gets the relic and could just wail on people, and it's everyone versus the relic guy or something like that.
would be interesting.
Like game modes like that would be
I was
cool.
about to add that in. They with this type of game, they have the opportunity to do a PvE/VP type thing, like where you have 2 teams and you have a boss in the middle and you fight each other, and the first team to kill the boss wins.
Oh, that would be
You know,
interesting.
really out of the normal type stuff.
There's a lot of things I think they can go with, and I think, you know, the initial offering, they came out and they played it safe and they have the PvP stuff, and I think they really, if they want to, at least, this is just me, Bungie. I know you're listening to our podcast.
Of course they do.
Jacob Brockett, Gamertag, your pal Rabbit,
Uh-huh.
Xbox. If you want me, I'm
Actually
out.
feed it to them live.
I'm out right now. Iron Banner, you kill me. I'll still play the Crucible. I'm out on Iron Banner. I don't care about it. If you want me back in, mix it up. Give me something intriguing. Give me something interesting. Give me something to get my ass back in there and want to really push for whatever it is that you're feeding me, because I need it. I need something. I need something for Bungie before the expansion.
I have a theory why the private matches hasn't been implemented.
Why is that?
And it would be a platform to test things. Like, think about how much you know in PvP of Destiny. What is the time to kill on a Shingen E? You know, what is the time to kill on a Surus Regime? Nobody knows any of these things because you don't have a method to test it. Unless you capture every PvP match and, you know, find an instance where you didn't miss and you go back and look at it. Like, there's no data on any of the game right now, or PvP wise. And I think they didn't put it in there, so we have to test every frickin' thing and base it totally off a feel.
Jesse, you ignorant slut.
No.
No, nobody, just me.
With your harebrained theories. No, that makes sense to some degree. But whatever, I still want custom game modes.
Still want it, damn it.
Still want it, damn it.
I mean,
Well,
do you not feel ignorant about the game
Oh, I
when you're in
feel
PvP
completely
and you
ignorant about the
compare it to when you're in a battleground in World of Warcraft? You know it every down to a T.
Yeah.
The numbers of everything that's happening.
Right.
When you're in Destiny, I don't know what the hell. I know this gun feels like I win more gunfights.
Yeah, but the problem is
That's it.
like, that's fine and all, but if you want to put it on par with any other sort of competitive shooter or PvP platform, you have to have that. You have to have the ability for the top end type players. You have to have the ability to be able to find out min-max wise how to best suit up your guy. Whether the max amount of intellect I need for this, for the time to get my grenades back, or for my special things. You have to have that min-max if you want it to be a top-level type PvP experience.
I agree that it needs to be there. That was just I could see how why they wouldn't want to have that. Like, I would love to have that. I would love to know what the, exact best gun is in every slot. Like, I want to know all that stuff. I wish I knew it. It bugs me that I don't know it.
I gotcha.
But, yeah.
All right, Jesse, I'm going to throw you a little curveball here.
Uh-oh.
Favorite fruit?
Oh, God. Apples.
Elton John.
I eat a lot of... Actually, I don't enjoy apples the most. I just eat apples the most. I think bananas. I know you're not supposed to eat them. I mean, potassium, blah, blah, blah. But the, glycemic index, whatever. Bananas. Yeah,
Glycemic
bananas.
index, but okay.
Glycemic. That's how they say it in Britain.
In the UK.
Well, we're not in Britain.
Well, we do have
and
a
if
lot
there
of...
are any British listeners...
No, we do have a lot.
They
There's
sound
no reason
so
to go
fancy,
ahead.
though.
Any Brits listening?
We do. Hey, thanks for listening.
Go drink some tea.
I said glycemic.
Go drink some
just for
tea
you.
before we kick your ass like we kicked your ass in WW2.
Oh, a lot of that doesn't
Wait,
make
what?
sense.
Take it to the bank.
Take it to the
Take it to the bank,
He's
gentlemen.
literally just throwing out
1812,
catchphrases now.
motherfuckers.
So,
Can I say that word?
well, awesome. Well, I feel relieved. Whew, PvP, off the chest. I feel good. I feel better.
It was a conversation we needed to have.
So, but real quick, before we get out of here, we pitched it earlier. This is the second part of it, of our producer, Paul James Hutchin. Wave, Paul.
DJ's waving.
Paul's waving. We know you can't see him. Eventually, we're going to get a video podcast going.
We'll figure that out.
So you guys can see Paul's sweet booth setup. It's mostly pillows and blankets and a VCR with the brave little toaster in it. But
He loves that movie.
anyway, for our segment of PJ's life hacks. So take it away, Paul.
And now it is time for Paul B.J. Hudson's life hacks. Learn from him. Be better than everyone else.
Welcome to Living Better Than the Rest of Me. Have a question? The best way to get the right answer on the internet is not to ask the question, but rather to post the wrong answer. Additionally, this is a great way to pick up new and exciting insults to use against your douchebag friends. Back to you, Kyle and Jacob.
And there it was.
God, thank you again, Paul. So insightful.
Always.
Jesse, what did you think of that?
I heard none of that. Just
For those of you,
awkward
we actually don't
silence.
have Jesse in the studio.
We don't.
Unfortunately, he's in South Carolina, so we are having to. He called in on the hotline. Which, if any of y'all want to get on the show again, it's just 973.
Okay, that is my cell phone.
Calling in on the hotline,
Hotline.
and we get him in here. So thank you again, Jesse, for getting in here and
Yeah, and now
spitting some hot fire about the PvP-ness with us.
Sorry for ruining your
Well,
podcast.
Pretty much.
it's fine. No, before we let Jesse go,
Before we let Jesse go,
he told me yesterday.
Did
You
I?
did, or it
What
was
did
the
I
day
say?
before yesterday, something like that. That you
I need specific
very
dates.
much so wanted to rant. There was a certain
What?
specific game-breaking,
ooh,
I have no idea what you're
a
talking
certain
about.
specific game-breaking gun in PvP
Ooh.
that you were so upset about the other night while we were playing. That you said
All right.
is that helping? Is my
we're dropping.
Jacob is hinting at the Vex Mythocats, as several people have dubbed it. For those of you who aren't getting it, the Vex Mythoclast
That doesn't
is
sound
the
right.
actual name. No, that's the right one.
Okay.
Which, of course, you get from Atheon, the last boss in the raid on hard mode.
Mhm.
In a PvP scenario, is so broken as hell. It's 4 headshots is a kill. Of course, it's an auto rifle, or the equivalent of an auto rifle. It is so incredibly broken. I take my Suros, I nail him, 5 headshots, dead on, don't miss. He shoots me in the toe 5 times, and I fucking fall over. It's the most bullshit. I hate it so much. I hate it more than shotguns. I hate it more than fusion rifles. That's all. That's words can't encompass it. Sounds do it better. Just that sigh of disappointment and yeah, the meow.
And
The
And
meow.
ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you our newest weekly segment that'll be appearing. That was
You just volunteered.
you did.
Was that,
That was it. That was your rant.
I was just
It's
talking.
gonna be
That was
called
that was just
Uncle
me.
Jesse's
No.
pissed off.
No.
I went Uncle Jesse because I'm a
Full
Full House
House,
fan.
yeah. It's
No,
Jesse.
We'll go Jesse from Breaking Bad. Jesse! Jesse's Bitch Fest. See,
It's-
get it? Because we're going with the Breaking
Jesse?
Bad reference.
We've got to record me doing, or you could take straight from Breaking Bad, Jesse saying
Bitch.
bitch.
Fest.
I was gonna say it was Jesse makes
I
it
can't
messy.
do it. I'm not
No,
talented.
But-
that's stupid.
If we want to call
Remember,
it
we discussed that in the pre-show meeting. Jesse
Jesse's-
makes a messy is
We
not
didn't
going to
say
work
that.
for
so
us.
Jesse's Bitch Fest is what we're gonna call
Jesse's Bitch Fest.
Fest.
And We'll,
That makes
we'll
me
cut
sound
the
like a
bitch in
bitch.
from
it. I can
Breaking
get that done.
Bad, and it'll all work. We'll leave that to our post production guy, Kyle.
Yeah.
All the work done by him.
So we will do that. That means that every week you will get a delicious 30 to 45-second rant
Yeah.
from Uncle Jesse
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
discussing something he hates, or it could very easily be a super positive rant where he is more than
Yeah,
excited.
it doesn't really fit in with the Bitch
Can I
Fest title.
Talk about how good I am, though.
No, you're not allowed to
Can I
talk
just
about how good
rant
you
about
are.
how
Unless
awesome
he's
I
just
am?
like, here's the
That work?
dog breed I like today. It's a Bitch Fest.
It's the Akita. The female Akita is
There
a
we
great
go.
dog from
Actually,
Japan.
I'm really big on Yorkies right
you
now.
are big on Yorkies. Well, that's it.
That's it?
That's it. We've done everything we wanted to do. And you know why that's it? Because we have 0 questions to answer. There were 0 questions submitted to us.
All right. Well, apparently my directions weren't good enough. So if you go
Try
to,
again.
you open up your AOL, you wait
This
for
is
your
where-
56K modem to beep boop beep 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 boop beep 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 beep, ah, bring bring bring, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You got mail. Welcome. All that stuff. You go up to the little bar at the top. http://www.twitter.com/therestiny. You'll
That's
find
right.
us on Twitter at therestiny. Send us a question. It could be about our pubic hair,
That's what
like
we answered
last
last
week.
week.
We'll answer it again. It could be about that game that we're actually podcasting about. That's fine too. It could be about, hey guys, what's your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
What game was that?
Destiny.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I should have told you that before we started.
Running
recording.
Man. That's the answer to the
Obviously.
question that I posed that I got so rudely interrupted. So find us on Twitter at The Wrestling. Follow us.
Mhm.
Is there a like option on Twitter? Can you like?
Oh boy, I really wish
That's
you had
fine.
at least looked at our Twitter page once. No.
Yeah, I don't.
There's no like.
I actually am not on Twitter. I
It's
don't know
super
what the hell it
frustrating.
is, but at the Restity
At the Restiny.
or Kyle is
Or-
Kyle.
That's me. There's
That's
no
Kyle's
need to
personal
follow
one.
me personally.
Find him and pose questions to Kyle about his hair.
Preferred that you go to www.betterthantherestinny.com.
That works too. Our website.
And the website has
lot of
all
goodies
the
on
different
there.
links that you would need. It can link you to iTunes where you can subscribe, Stitcher, which is another podcast or hosting service like that where you can subscribe.
Also, link to our clan page on Bungie.
Absolutely.
Come check us out. See
You
how
should.
Our sweet legendary is.
We are super
That's
gears.
super sweet.
Super sweet.
Or again, like we've said, we're sorry to our PlayStation brethren and our Xbox 360s. Get the one. Get the Xbox
Just do
One.
it.
Just give money. It's only money, right?
Right.
It's just pay money. But we are an Xbox One clan.
Just
and
pay money.
yeah, and you can find us by our gamer tags on there. Kyle, of course,
Is Taslantic.
and I am your pal Rabbit. And Jesse, why don't you give out your Xbox Live gamer tags so that people can harass you on there about PvE, PvP tips and all that jazz.
I am HC space Isik. That's ISIK.
You know,
Just add me if you want to hop into Kyle's backpack. There's plenty of room in there. I will carry you around as if you were him.
I'm more of a fanny pack kind of guy. Kyle
yeah,
just
I ride on his waist, your back.
I carry so much, it just, a fanny pack would not hold.
No, Jesse, real quick before we let you go, HC, Isaac, what does the HC stand for?
Throwback to a old Cataclysm World of Warcraft raiding guild, Horde Core, which I was the raid leader of. I did a great job.
I feel
yeah,
like me
how
and
was
Jacob
that
were in it.
Raiders?
How was that raid's progression, by the way? They were a top 100 worldwide, right? Surely.
To be honest, it was exemplary until we ran into attendance issues, internet connectivity issues.
Yes.
Well, I heard that one of
I
your
don't know, the leadership was really
the
solid.
Ret
for
Paladin,
the most part.
you had a Ret Paladin that was world ranked several times for his DPS, I believe.
He was world ranked.
Was ranked in
Um,
a sense that it was an object for people to strive to not be.
Wait, no.
Lowest
Okay.
world ranks.
Kyle did well. He was a good red.
was great at red.
Obviously,
That's
I
it.
would have been world
Oh,
ranked,
well.
but as a feral tank, I was competing against DPS feral tanks.
Yeah.
So
We got.
That's unfortunate.
We can make up excuses. We can do that all day. But that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. We're
Thank
gonna
you,
call it a
Jesse.
day.
Thank you again for coming on with us, and I look forward to Jesse's Bitch Fest segment
Mm-hmm.
next week that you just got volunteered for. So thank you again for joining us
not
today.
do that.
Any
Get
last
recorded.
words for our listeners out there?
Is that at me again?
Yes.
Yes.
So hard.
We
without
don't have to
visual
give last
cues.
words. They hear us every week.
I'm not here. Love and Destiny. Kyle is my friend.
Oh.
That's it.
All right.
Jacob
all right.
gets snubbed on
All
the
right.
salutation.
All righty. Well, that's it for us. I'm
Jacob's a
Jacob,
jackass.
And I'm Kyle.
and that was Better Than
The Restiny.
Legends in the making, they fight. Kyle and Jacob will lead you tonight. So lay down your arms, there's no chance of victory. You punk ass bitches, they're better than the rest.